All right, guys, it's Tuesday, which means it's time for Club Top Shot. No Peter Jennings tonight. He is doing everything I can. But our boys, Jack Settleman and MBL, they have, of course, gone shopping, as you might have seen in the thumbnail. They might tell us what has struck their fancy in the market. We're going to talk some Top Shot tonight. We'll rip some packs later. We got the VIP Franmillionair coming on with us. Let's do it, guys. It's Club Top Shot. Damien, you can retire. Let's call up Steve Kerr right now. Tell him you're done. 3-on-2 game.
Oh, I'm an incredible basketball player. Awful shooter. Awful shooter.
Nasty jumper.
Would he ever gamble on shooting?
Here we go.
Me.
Let's see.
We got Jaw lighting up again.
On that note, let me go.
All right.
Club Top Shot going up on a Tuesday.
Love it. Man, seeing Ja Rule in the intro reminded me, he's all up in these NFT streets. I went ahead and used my email that I had for him, and I tried to get him back on the club, but I have not heard back from Ja Rule. I'm starting to think our friendship wasn't as strong as I thought it was, guys.
I like every one of his tweets in an effort for him to follow me back, which is going to be my path into his DMs to bring him back. That's my long con.
I know. I thought we had shared, a very special show with him. He uses the GIF of him lighting up on the show with regularity. I thought we had entered his circle of trust, but apparently not.
I think I saw someone on my Instagram story, like that I follow, post an Instagram story of him. Like they were at a day club and they were like at Ja Rule and he was like over to the side. And like, I see that story posted 20 minutes ago. Then I go on Twitter and he had just bought an NFT. I wonder if he was doing a little day drinking and buying NFTs.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
I feel all of his posts are getting into new NFTs and he's buying Top Shots. Like he's all about it.
Jack, can't you talk to your people and get him back on? How does that work?
I can if we feel like that's the if we feel like that's the man we need at this point in time. I can definitely reach out.
Yeah. So, lots going on in the Top Shot world. We're going to talk about some marketplace happenings here. But Top Shot also just announced their Vegas plans. It is actually pretty exciting. It's a little bit of a bummer that the official Top Shot plans aren't going to overlap with Club Top Shot's presence in Vegas. But what was your guys' take on the stuff they're doing here for NBA Summer League?
Well, I have to be careful when I use the word utility because apparently you have to use the book definition of these words. But I think it's just another great example of what Top Shot can do. NBA Finals, then they do the draft. Now they have this. And it's the first in-arena activation that we've been talking about for what feels like the past 6 months. So I love it.
I couldn't agree more. And to me, it's also just another sign that Top Shot and the NBA are like this, that Top Shot can go in and be an extremely important part of Summer League and put up a kiosk in the arena and have yet another one of these events where they fly 8 people out. And it seems like the NBA is in for the long haul, which I think is a great sign. And so I'm excited about it. I think that, Roham alluded to the fact that these are kind of teaser concepts and that over time they're going to try and make them more applicable to more people and more applicable to what individual people might want. Like, send Knicks fans to Knicks games and send 5,000 to a Knicks game, not only 8, for example. And so he alluded to that in a tweet, which I think this is just a show of strength at this point and just showing their connections and what they can do.
And I saw tweets today of people who were like, I'm now thinking about flying out to Vegas for Summer League because just it seems fun and exciting to go to the stadium to get these moments that you can only get there. And I mean, we've talked about that before. Like they have to kind of instill this gamification of it, if I collect all these teams' moments, what might I get? Almost this like FOMO effect. And I feel like this is a step in doing that.
No, definitely. And, the last few, this one is less so, but for the finals, giveaway and for the draft giveaway, they did try and look at people's collections and make sure that they had moments that kind of matched up with what the giveaway was. So Suns and Bucks moments were worth raffle tickets, and rookies were worth raffle tickets for the draft version, which I like. It's them promoting the collect what you love concept, which you'll get rewarded in a way that you'll appreciate.
West Coast wants a pool party in Vegas. We will definitely hit the pool in Vegas. We've been firming up our plans in the Discord, but if you guys are going to be out there, we mentioned we're not going to overlap with the official TopShot. We're bookending it. So we'll be there at Summer League on Sunday at the Thomas and Mack Center watching Summer League all day. And then Monday, we're going to go play some basketball. We'll hit the pool and then we'll grab some drinks on Monday night. So if you're in Vegas, definitely hit us up. We'll post kind of more details on our Twitter as we get closer. But fellas, are you guys getting excited for Vegas here?
Yeah, I finally booked. I knew I was coming, but I finally booked. I opted for I think I'm staying at the Flamingo. I'm not as liquid as the Cosmopolitan would have allowed for. But I'm very excited. I'm booked. I'll be there Friday. I think I'm going to go to the Friday, maybe Summer League games, maybe Saturday Summer League games. I like watching that type of stuff. I know not everyone does, but I think it'll be cool. And you're going to be able to get like as close as possible. That's what Summer League is.
Yeah, Summer League is fun. I went once a few years back. The vibe is really good. You can place shitty sports bets on it if you're a degenerate and need that sweat. And it sounds like there's going to be a ton of TopShot people floating around as well. So I think it's going to be a very fun time.
Can you bet on Summer League? That's something that's available.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't normally have like DFS contests for it, but you can get some action down at the sports books on Summer League action for sure.
I like it. That changes things. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going on Sunday with the larger group. And Friday and Saturday are in play too. I mean, I've got a pretty open schedule. Been harassing Jack to see where we can hang out as often as possible. We've only hung out one time before. And Pete, I think it's important to note that the biggest event of our Vegas trip will be us meeting in person.
Yeah, and I actually am shutting down part of the strip, and I kind of want us to just kind of both run at each other in slow motion while the music's playing as we kind of slowly embrace. I think it'd be a nice moment.
That'd be fantastic.
I've only been to Vegas twice, I think, maybe once. I don't even remember. But when I posted that tweet, where should I stay? Because I was looking for other options. I mean, apparently everyone's been to Vegas and knows everything about it. And then when I'm looking through the hotels, like there's everyone for every hotel I looked at, someone had to reply like, yeah, stay there. It's a dope place. It sounds like everything's fine. Like if there's a bed and I can get to a casino, I feel like I'm in a good spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Vegas.
But what is this Circus hotel? Because I did see it was only $86 a night. And then I saw a couple of people being like, yo, you should definitely stay here. I knew they were kidding. And then I see it in the comments. So how bad is the reputation at this hotel?
I mean, it's probably like the next one that's going to get bulldozed on the strip. It's been there forever. It's just like a bit of a shithole, but I don't hotel shame either. My buddies and I, before COVID and everything, we would go most years to Vegas for divisional round weekend. And we always stayed at the Excalibur. And we now like have our routines. We know the spa situation. We know where we post up for the game. So yeah, I will not hotel shame anyone. You're not spending time in your hotel room. It doesn't really matter.
Right. Exactly.
I stayed at the Trump International one time when I went to Vegas.
Okay, all right.
There's no casino there, and it's slightly off strip. It was I wasn't as liquid as I may be now, and so I had to make do. But I think to your guys' point, you can't go too wrong. The biggest advantage of a hotel is whether or not the people who are within range of that hotel, and that's the beginning and end of it, really.
Yeah, I was using the map as kind of like a center point, like using the Cosmo. It's not like the most central location. Like it's that, but then a lot of people suggested the Wynn, which is like 10-minute walk up. So it's like those were the two spots. I wasn't sure.
The Wynn is kind of like at the end.
Yeah.
The Wynn and the Encore.
The win is nice, but it's not centrally located.
It's pretty close to the Trump, actually. The win. Yeah.
Yeah, you're really. Do you have a promo code for the Trump Hotel or something, Mike?
Promo code Mike.
I also went out off the strip. What's it? Downtown, like downtown,
Yeah.
super fun. It's like, and we're gonna be
Fremont?
going. Yeah, we're gonna be going over to the game. The games are at UNLV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything you can't. And I didn't realize the hotel is like a 10-minute drive from everything too. Everything is literally like right there.
We're gonna be fine. We can take Ubers and Lyfts.
I actually, fun fact, that type of Vegas drunk when I was there. And I don't like, I'm convinced I got drugged. That's like the type of level it was.
You think you got roofied?
Like one of those where you don't even remember like anything, like,
Sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Mike. And I actually took a limo home for like $100 by accident, but I don't know if that's just like a big taxi. I don't know what that's considered. So I'm hoping for a revenge performance if we do go downtown.
NBL. So I'm actually fascinated by this because I don't know if I had to guess if you were like a gambler, table games, roulette, because let me just talk it out before you tell you. Because on the one hand, you're a very social person. Those games can be very fun in groups. I feel like you might be up for it. On the other hand, you're very purposeful with your capital allocation, I guess I would say. And I could just see you being like our buddy Adam Levitan, who's like, it makes me sick to my stomach to not get it in good and let the casino have the edge. So where are you at on casino table games?
So what I'd say is, I don't know if you guys know this. This is like now my personal background, whatever. I was a statistics major at school, statistics and finance. And so one of the things that I like as like a hobby is like understanding the mechanics of casinos and all the casino games and what the house edge is and how they try and get the players to bet more and that sort of thing. So I read books on these things and I really enjoy the behind the scenes action of it. So I very much know that I'm losing money by playing. But having said that, I'll still sit down sometimes, have a few drinks, and play around a little bit. I just compare it to when you go to a movie, you're definitely losing money when you go to a movie. You pay whatever, $20 for the movie ticket, and it's just paying for an experience. And so I'm not looking to make money. I'm just having a good time there, but I can't do it for very long. I have a little bit of that Levitan feeling in me where it's like, what are we doing here? I kind of get an icky feeling looking around and hoping that everyone else around me is making reasonable financial decisions.
See, that's what I figured. That would have been my guess. Your buddy Josh here is, where he was calling you, he's saying you're a total degenerate. So I don't know. I think that feels like a miscategorization as well.
So Josh is going to be with us actually. So you can ask him in person. Maybe
he just wants you to be a degenerate because that's the kind of Vegas experience he wants.
he would give the exact same answer I just did and what you suspected. I'm consistent across my various friend groups.
Jack, what about you? You've talked about your playing roulette with the Action Network guys. You punt it off at the table?
I hate like going to the casino and losing money. Like nothing to me is worse, but like I'm addicted to the casino. Like, it's the greatest thing ever. I've done a pretty good job in the past of not being like very drunk at a casino, because that is obviously where you lose all abilities to gamble. The one time I was intoxicated at a casino to that level was Mardi Gras, and we were there for about 12 minutes and my bankroll was gone very quickly. So as long as it's not like we're hitting the clubs till 4 and then I can't see straight and then we're hitting the tables, I'm a decent gambler.
Well, this is actually
I like craps.
So I was gonna say,
craps is fun.
Craps is something that you like can't like replicate anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, in a casino, like blackjack, I kind of feel like I'm just a drone. I just like, I just play by the book, and it's like it could be anyone sitting there. I just chose a seat, and that's the beginning and the end of my decision making.
Blackjack's my least favorite game. The only fun thing about blackjack is if you have the entire table and you're kind of doing it together. Like blackjack, all you do is you play by the book, which is already losing odds, and then you have to worry about some other noobs who are like not playing by the book, and they fuck you over. Like that tilts me. But craps, like everyone's on the same team, And if there is one loser who's like betting against you, like they're obviously just a loser. And if you get hot like that, that's your upside game. Like to me, you can't even win a lot playing blackjack. Like your hottest day, you need to be betting a ton, doubling down, hitting on those. Like craps, you have an hour-long roll. Like you can have a very, very good night at the casino.
I actually do want to unpack this message from your brother here, Jack, because the times I hang out with you, you always have a drink in your hand. It does feel like you do a great job of pretending you drink, but I've never seen you lose control.
Interesting. Casey likes to call me a loser. He thinks I'm lame. But he was the one that we were in Chicago this weekend. They were day drinking. They didn't make it out. And I was out till 3:30 in the morning clubbing. So I'm just calling it. I've matured, I think. Freshman year of college, I was known as the kid who just threw up every single time that we went out. And, I just turned 25. I got to be a little more mature. But I can let loose in Vegas if that's what the people are looking for.
What's going to be your biggest night? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? I hope Monday, but what do you think?
Well, the thing is, I can go on a bender too. Like if we want to play that game, I don't know if you guys can keep up when it goes to that. I think one night we go. If we go one night, maybe you guys could have more success. But like, I don't know if you guys will be able to handle a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night of race.
You do have to pace yourself in Vegas.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not as young as I used to be. What do you think about casino games? You enjoy a little gamble or what?
Yeah, I love the group craps experience, and blackjack it'll get me. Like I'm the kind of sicko who, like, if I'm waiting, for my friends to come down into the lobby, I'm like, okay, I'll go play some blackjack by myself. Like it gets its hooks in me.
What about poker?
So my friends and we normally will go sit at like just a 1-2 no limit table just while blasted, like late in the night. And we'll get like 6 of us at a table, which again, it's not EV. There's nothing there to be had other than just creating a shit show. And I do enjoy that, but it's like, no one wants to go sit at a poker table at like 2 a.m. by themselves in Vegas. I mean, some people do, but not
many
me.
people do.
But yeah, if we got a group that just like took over a low limit table, that could be pretty fun.
But I don't like taking money from like people I know. You know what I mean?
I don't like anyone I know to be at my table. I feel like a little bit awkward and like, I want to throw a little crappy joke out there sometimes. And I don't want my friend to just go,
When
I want to have like my own little like vibe.
When I actually played in Vegas, I went with a coworker. Like we played poker together, who was also my friend, and like he called my bluff on like a big hand, and like I wasn't trying to bluff him. I was just like put in enough to where I was kind of indicating him to fold, and he called it and lost the hand. And it was like kind of uncomfortable that like I kept beating him in these hands where I wasn't even like trying to play against him because it was just the 2 of us against like 6 or 8 others. But I could also see it being like a fun table environment, obviously, if it's all your friends.
All right. Good to know that I can just check Ray's MBL as much as I want, and he'll just be too nice to actually try to see it through. So that's good to file away. Jack, you mentioned Chicago. You were at was it a sports card convention?
Yeah, so it was the national convention. So sports cards started to get really, really hot last March. And then there was supposed to be a show in Atlantic City over the summer. It got canceled due to COVID. So this was kind of like almost 2 years of buildup for the national card show. So everyone went to Chicago. It was the second biggest show ever. I think the biggest show ever was in like 1991 in Anaheim. I learned all these nerdy card shit while I was there. But there was a ton of people from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I was only there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It literally felt like, because it was Lollapalooza also that weekend. And it felt like I was at Lollapalooza because from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. all 3 days, I was on my feet, like just walking around, talking to people, doing content, like a million different things. Didn't eat lunch any of the days. It was really crazy. And then got to go to some fun dinners at night and meet some like high profile collectors. And there were people there who literally had $1 billion worth of collectibles. $1 billion. And I'm like, what the, like, how do you even acquire that much in collectibles? But then you go around the room and you start to realize like just one little table would have a a card that's worth 20K, 50K, 8K, 3K, 2K, a row of 10 that are worth 2K. And you start to like do the mental math, and there was probably like $2 billion worth of collectibles in this little convention center over the course of the 5 days. And I was just like, that's insanity. Like, that is so much money that someone is paying for in some, at some point. It was a wild experience.
And so what were, what did it put into focus for you as it relates to TopShot and NFTs? Because to see a convention like that pumping right now, and also, the rise of NFTs, were you conflicted? Do you still have a soft spot in your heart for physical NFTs?
I think that so this is kind of my two takeaways. One, and we've talked about it before, is just this insane oversupply. And when I got into cards, I was the one that was looking for like autograph cards or like jersey patches and numbered cards, because instinctively I'm like, okay, those seem to be the rare cards. And everyone kept telling me, no, it's these base cards. Buy the base prism. Buy the base prism. They're the most liquid. They're the best cards to have. And then those dropped off a cliff over the past few months, rightfully so. And now the reports are coming out. There's 20,000 Luka base prisms, PSA 10s. So if you like do the math backwards, that means they probably made like 50,000 to 100,000 of a Luka base prism. And those are trading for $1,000, $800, 500, whatever it is. It's like 500 plus bucks. The Zions are like 300 to 400. That's just one type of a Luka rookie card. That doesn't count Optic. That doesn't count Select. That doesn't count National Treasure. Like, I'm just naming different Panini brands right now. And you start to be like, holy shit, like there's 500,000 plus of just Luka base cards across all these brands. Then you see the pop reports, which is the population of graded cards. And you start to realize like even the rare stuff. So like the Luka National Treasure cards, those are like the most famous rookie cards, I guess, that a Luka National Treasure sold for like $2 million or something. And the ones to 99 sell for 100K regularly. But like National Treasure is just one subset of a brand. The Prism 1 of 1 or the Prism that are numbered to 99, those sell for 10K each. Like, you start to do the math and it's like there's just so many. Who could possibly be buying these things? So are there people buying these things? Is there an oversupply, even on the graded stuff, even on the numbered stuff? And I'm like, the card market benefits from the fact that you actually can't see everything that's out there, right? Like the transparency in the blockchain and everything centralized right now in TopShot, in theory, we thought was a good thing, but it really hurts TopShot because now you can see all the supply that's out there. When you go to these card shows, you never really even think about like, oh, there's all these cards out there. So I learned that. And then the second thing I learned was there were some really cool cards there. So there were like the Jordan Fleers, which is his esteemed rookie card. Once again, like it's his most famous rookie card, but there were 100,000 different cards there that were all worth, $100 plus bucks or $1,000 even. But there were some really cool cards there. Most notably the LeBron logo, man. So that's the NBA logo on the card with his auto from his rookie year. It's like it's potentially the most valuable card, basketball card ever, because it's a rookie patch auto from his rookie season in 2003, 1 of 1, signed by him. And they value it at like $10 to $20 million. But what I realized was like, that's a card that like we'll just never be able to touch, obviously. Like once someone gets that, they're not selling it, obviously. And I don't have $10 to $20 million in the bank. Like there's a ton of these really, really, really special cards that you just know you'll never be able to own. And so I took a step back and I was like, I own a LeBron Cosmic. And like, if someone paid me $250,000 for it, like that would be life-changing money for me. That would be an insane amount of money. Fortunately, I don't need that today. And would it be better to just have a card or have a moment like if TopShot that I know I would never, ever be able to acquire realistically if TopShot goes the way it can? Like, and I just think it's so early in the TopShot streets. Final thing, I was at dinner. I don't know how much I can disclose, but a person who knows the intricacies of the Dapper / NBA deal. Dapper gave equity to the NBA. They have a very long partnership. They are very invested. It's a non-exclusive deal, but the NBA is extremely, like he kept telling me how invested. Like it's essentially exclusive by trade. And so I just think you have everything lined up. They've been activating all these things. And if the NBA and TopShot becomes what we think it could be, I'd rather take that chance than sell out and get pennies on the dollar.
Mike, what are your takes? Because I know you went to a physical NFT convention a while back and came away with some cardboard as well.
So I did, but so I'll share some thoughts on that. But first, a few questions for Jack based on your experience. So first of all, tell us a bit about what you bought. Did you do some shopping there? And just generally, I know you were in the card collecting game before TopShot. Are you as excited about physical cards now? I can tell you, for me, I was never big into physical cards, but when I look at it now, it seems like it would be just a challenging thing to track and take care of and ensure that it's staying in decent condition and to remember what I have. And like, I wrote it down there, what I have, but I also wrote down there that I have something else. And, oh, did I ship that? Did I not ship that? And all these headaches that come along with it. That's one of the things that I found most attractive about TopShot. Do you feel like your views changed on cardboard?
Yeah, so great question. I think Daryl Morey actually talked about this on a podcast about when he moved from Houston to Philly, he was moving $1 million worth of cards, right? And a big example I always used at the beginning of TopShot was like when Rob G, who was famous for buying the Mickey Mantle for some millions of dollars, bought it. The first thing he did was take a picture. The second thing he did was put it in a safe, right? To your point, it's actually just a hassle to have these things. One thing I did notice, and one way that I would say my view on cards changed, was I did start to look at them as like rare pieces of art. So I do think in the very unique cards, like it is cool to have, one of ones, or to have like these special moments or pieces of the jersey and their autograph. Like I still do think that's cool, but everything else, which was, I kind of wanted to day trade them, right? So I would buy them and then you could list them on eBay. That process is absolutely miserable. Listing on eBay, taking pictures, shipping them out physically. Like TopShot Digital solves for all of that. I've moved from Baltimore to Florida, back to New York throughout COVID too. Like moving my cards around, I'm not going to bring my whole collection. Bringing them on the flight, right, was tough. Like I know Darren Rovell drove, 14 hours to Chicago to have his stuff with him. And it's like, you think about it logically, that's a massive, what if he happens to like a card T-bones him or he gets robbed, right? Like
civil forfeiture takes Darren Rovell's entire cardboard collection.
Exactly. You think Rovell is a below speed limit kind of highway driver?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Especially with this collection, which was a wild collection. But you asked me about my thoughts on cardboard. It's the stuff that Rovell collects that actually physically is cool to me, like video games and tickets from like Kobe's last game. Like the 800th LeBron rookie Topps card, it's really not that special. It really is just a card with the price that's tied to Kobe or LeBron. TopShot and digital NFTs have changed my outlook on a lot of things, cardboard. But I still do think the pieces of art can be really, really cool things to have.
So what gets people excited then milling about the convention floor? Because I get it on the super rare stuff or the stuff you were saying, like specific pieces of memorabilia, tickets, like that all makes sense. But when you just go to a table and you see sprawled out a ton of these different cards, like you said, you don't know the mint count. Maybe you're not well-versed enough to know the quality, the grade level, like, how are you getting excited to be like, oh my God, that card, like that's so sick? Like, I don't know. It just seems like they're all the same.
No, you're not. And that's the thing. So two things on that point. One, you go to someone's table, they have a Tom Brady collection, right? And it's like they got their rookie, they got their 2013, which is the first year of Prism. They got 2018, which is when he went to he won the Super Bowl, 2020 with the Bucks, and like all are stickered like 10K plus. And I'm like, it's not even just the rookies that are holding values for these great players. And all these cards have to have narratives and stories to them as well. And it's not something that's easily explained, right? And it's something you have to just believe the person who's telling you, unless, And someone wrote in the comments, like, getting into the card market is a very steep process. It is not easy. There's so much to learn. I've been in it for over a year and a half, like in depth now. I still know nothing. Like, I didn't even know the Honus Wagner was considered the card of all cards, right? I thought it was the Mantle.
T206.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't even know that. And then you've got PSA versus Becky. You've got all these different things. The reason I think it's fun to be at the National as compared to other places, Pete, to your question, it is the one place where like everyone's cards are out. So you're going to see like those cards you're really never going to see unless you're there. So like the really, not even rare per se, but the unique cards that you just wouldn't really be following on eBay, or they wouldn't pop up on your Twitter feed. It's like, that's where I was looking for cool shit. Now, the 2 cards I bought are probably 2 of the most basic cards I could have possibly bought. A LeBron Chrome rookie, which is his rookie card, but a more rare version. Then I bought a Steph Curry Topps rookie, which is numbered to 999. Yeah.
Are these is it like priced
Sorry,
to
what's the
sell,
number
or
two?
is,
You froze a little bit there.
To 999.
Okay.
Yeah.
is there any haggling here? Like, could you get a deal?
Yeah. So it's funny. Like, you would think the people that brought all their shit there would like be ready to sell, but when they're buying from you, they'll buy for comps, which are 70% of comps, 80% if you're really good at negotiating, and they'll sell right at comps, even if you're paying in cash, where if they sold on eBay, they'd be paying fees and shit. Like, people are not there, like, ready to really sell, which is funny. But yes, the sticker price is never what you should actually pay. I think the 2 cards that I bought them with my cousin, but they were stickered $17K total. I think we paid like $14,700 cash plus an RJ Barrett rookie card, which was valued at like $1,000. So you can definitely haggle and do trades. Like, I do think trading is one of the coolest parts. It's why I think it would be really, really cool to see Dapper institute like a trade machine, which is already so much a part of the NBA. Like, if I could offer trades, or we could do trades and no one had to send first, and it was a smart contract that if both parties agree, right? Like, essentially like a fantasy football trade. I think that would be really cool.
Well, Mike, I mean, this almost sounds like Jack was saying with the trading. And if the whole kind of marketplace in this physical space is haggling, bidding, I mean, that's what we need in the TopShot marketplace, right? We've said that all along. Like, if Jack was just walking around the floor and it was like, this is the price, you either take it or you walk away. Like,
right.
That's what we're all doing in the TopShot marketplace.
Yeah, so I think on the trading side of things, something's inevitably going to be built either by Dapper or by a third party. I think that's coming, just a matter of time. In terms of the general haggling, I think this is another kind of blessing and curse thing about TopShot. TopShot, you could literally see the entire universe of sellers in one shot, and so it's almost as if you could go to every card show at the same time with every card, with every card owner and just find the lowest price option and just choose that one. Whereas you go to one of these conventions and the sellers or the dealers, part of their angle, they almost have a marketing angle. It's like, they have to schmooze with you and talk to you about the Knicks and know about RJ Barrett and what's he going to do next year. And, what do you think about Reggie Bullock and whatever else? And then, he butters you up and then you buy from him. You don't know if there's someone down the street who's selling it for $200 cheaper or $300 cheaper. And so TopShot's never really going to be able to replicate that kind of seller-collector connection and that sort of human connection. And that's something that's definitely lost in the TopShot world.
I think one of the things they did with the Twitter, right, linking to your profile, was a great start to it, right? Now you can at least find the person easily. You can reach out to them. But once you get there, right, it's like, well, how do I negotiate this deal? Who sends first if I list it and then someone up, right? Like, there's steps to be made. But, positive steps are being made to a degree.
Yeah. I do think it's going to be hard to ever capture that human element, though. Even when there are, eventually that'll be an offer system. You don't have to go to someone's Twitter. You just send them an offer for whatever it is, $200 below they have it listed for, and they can accept or reject. And you kind of lose that weird feeling. So, Pete, you asked about my physical card experience. I touched on it a little bit on a previous episode. But basically, what I liked about it is that, you could talk to you could talk to the dealers and kind of hear their story, where they got the card from, what they paid for it, how long they've been doing this for, what other cards they have, why they got their cards. And even if it's all nonsense crap, it's kind of fun to just shoot the shit with someone like that. But there's a huge trust element to it where, these people are trying to sell you something for money. They're trying to maximize their profits, or just, they could just be good people having a good time, but you don't know. And it's very hard to determine what are these things actually worth. Everyone was pulling out their phones and showing me the eBay listings and showing me some other website, and the cell phone service wasn't great. So they're like, oh, if this loaded, it would say 600. I know, I just checked for another guy. I'm like, okay, I don't know how many of these are there. I don't know. Is this good condition? Sort of. Look at this centering. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. And so now Lowell's getting a second shout out for his comment earlier. There's a huge learning curve for physical cards. And that's one of the things that I liked most about TopShot early on. It's you spend a little bit of time around the data, you really get what's going on. And I didn't realize it would take over most of my life for the 10 months afterwards, but I was like, oh, this could work as a hobby. There's enough information here to kind of pick it up, even though I'm not a general collector. And so there are definitely some positives of the physical world. For me, as someone, anything I'm putting serious capital towards, going back to the purposeful gambling side of me, I want to know what's going on, and I want to feel good about that and know about the population and the edition sizes and where recent transactions have happened and who owns what and what they paid for it and all that good stuff. And so I think the advantages of TopShot are there, and this is just scratching the surface. We talked about some other things before too, but you lose something that the physical card world offers.
I have not noticed this YouTube handle yet. Peter Over's Pet, points for that one. Real quick, Jack, before we move on from the convention, what was it like seeing Rovell? I know you know him from your Action Network days. Was he mobbed by people? Is he a celebrity at this card show?
So I know everyone's not fond of him. I love Darren. I think if you take him as a person, I totally understand why you would not like him. If you get to know him he's just not a human being. He's essentially an alien, and he's just different from everyone else. He becomes the funniest person in the world. And he'll definitely still have his moments where I'm like, Darren, you just can't do that. His self-awareness is definitely low at times. As my brother just commented, he was sweating bullets. It was the most Darren Rovell show. He's setting his booth up. Tickets are flying everywhere. He's singing opera. He's noting every stat about every ticket, just sweating. The mask is half on his face. It was just the most Rovell thing of all time. He was not, to everyone's dismay, he was definitely not the feature of the show. There really wasn't a feature. But one of the things, that I thought was interesting that a lot of people mentioned was if you were looking for that LeBron card, I knew the people I wanted to go buy with the cash we had, you had to go to every table to make sure you're not missing out. And I think that's your point, Mike, which is there's benefits to it, but there's also massive downsides. If I want to get a Giannis moment, I know exactly where to go. On TopShot at the convention, you're not only not seeing everything, because not every person in the world, not every Giannis card is there, but you got to walk around the entire thing, haggle with people.
But is that part of the experience? If you go to a TopShot convention, there would be one table.
Absolutely.
You don't need any more than one table. You just need one laptop.
Absolutely. And I agree. That's why I was excited to go, was to have that fun and to haggle. But in the same vein, to your point, which is people just look shit up now. I would have loved the days 2010, right? Where you had a general idea, but you didn't have up to the second information. That's boring, right? There is no room to really hack.
Crushed by sharks out there.
Exactly.
I wouldn't like. I would feel like the people who are selling to me know something I don't know and can't figure out, and I would just feel like I'm getting destroyed there.
Yeah, exactly. So, as Lowell said, the thrill of the hunt is part of the fun. But now with the technology, everything's kind of priced out. The only moments the only cards that you really can debate on the price of are like these very unique cards that don't have comps, is what they said, right? Like it's a 1 of 1, or it's a very high value card that hasn't sold in 2 months. Same thing as the TopShot market. The only difference is in the TopShot market, we can't offer, right? And so everyone just has to keep dropping until they find that thing, the price they're willing to pay. Whereas at the card show, I can go and be like, I value this card at 13K, yes or no, right? And so I think I would love some clarity on this. When we talked to Alan a while ago, he said legally they can't offer an offer button. Do we know if that's true? Because a lot of people believe that offer system is coming. In my opinion, that would have been one of the first things that was built, but I don't know.
I don't remember that. I always remember the stuff.
I don't remember that either. I think that it probably is coming at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, they I think the one they always said they couldn't do right was putting like random.
Yeah, I know that
because of the loot box rules or whatever. But I don't remember the offer one.
Yeah, I will say,
yeah.
We should.
I was going to say, did you talk to anyone there about TopShot, or is that like taboo? You don't talk about it there.
Yeah. So Jewish Leitner, anyone trading physical cards for TopShot moments. I'm trying to think if there was any NFT talk. There were definitely some NFT talk. On the panel I was on the main stage, I said TopShot and like looked around to make sure there weren't any pitchforks coming at me. Truthfully, I was pretty bummed that TopShot didn't have a presence there, because we had talked about a while ago. They should absolutely have had a presence there, because it's not just cards, right? It's memorabilia. It's all these different things that are there. They need to be in Atlantic City next year, not to acquire new customers, but just to be. I think that takes a huge step. Every single person, besides Gary Vee, because he had family thing, every single person who talks collectibles, who is in the collectible industry, who truthfully has money, had a presence at the convention, and TopShot not being there was definitely a mistake on their part, because they want to. I mean, if you listen to Roham's talk today, like they absolutely want to be considered a collectible, and that it's the National Sports Card Convention, but it's really the collectible convention.
What if
what I always come back to on these is I think they feel they aren't ready. I don't know what they have coming, but I think they're continuing to build and iterate the platform and add features and add capabilities and whatever, make it smooth. I don't know what's coming, but add something, because they didn't really advertise in the finals. The NBA has clearly shown a willingness to partner with them and associate with them. So it's not like the NBA is like they're not allowed. I'd imagine if TopShot was ready for the floodgates to be opened, they'd have a floor advertisement in the NBA finals. They'd have a TV ad. It would be all over the NBA's websites. And to me, I just don't. I think they're saying we're comfortable with the current levels of growth, but before we really open things up, we feel like we don't have one chance to get people in, but we don't have too many chances, and so we don't want to bring people in before we're presenting our finest product. And again, we get to it every single episode. They are still in beta. I think if they felt like they were ready, they wouldn't be in beta anymore. And I think once they move out from beta to to full form, they reach Charizard form, they will, I think, open up to things like trading card shows and TV ads and things like that.
I get really nervous though about this thought of like, once they're out of beta, the floodgates are going to open. And I think a lot of people are kind of banking on this floodgates opening. And in my head, and I would imagine in pretty much everyone else's head, floodgates opening means noobs coming in and buying up our moments at higher prices, right? Like that's what.
I don't know. I just mean in the sense of like they're not marketing that much yet.
But I disagree there. Like they just did a pretty big activation with Quavo, their email newsletter. I mean, it's obviously intrinsic, but like they're constantly sending that. Like like partnering with Quavo, if any of the other NFT projects partner with Quavo, like that's huge. It's fucking massive. So I don't necessarily buy that. I just want to warn against people who think once they're out of beta, TopShot's going to throw $100 million into marketing. They're going to get every NBA fan, and your JaVale McGee moments are going to be worth what they were back in February. I just want to make sure that people don't think that's what it's going to be. And okay, I see
So,
Ryan
yeah,
in the chat. I'm not saying Quavo's the top, but I
Nice,
just
Walshy.
think that
Nice.
I do not think Quavo's the top, but I don't think I just don't think like people assume they're just gonna touch. I guess they assume they're gonna DraftKings FanDuel it back in those days, and that there's just gonna be hundreds of millions of people pouring onto the platform. I don't know.
So I don't know what the result of it is going to be. I'm not suggesting them opening the floodgates mean a flood is coming, but I do think that they are being tactful and patient in terms of them activating marketing in a real sense here. You know, if Nike signed just, I don't know, Naomi Osaka and left it at that, we'd be like, oh, they're not really doing anything. But they have Federer, Tiger Woods, a commercial on every single sporting event, jerseys branded, like just any significant brand has massive recurring marketing, and I think that I do think they'll do that over time. And to me, all signs point to the fact their internal discussions are, we want to keep the growth, keep some momentum here, keep bringing new people, but we're not quite ready for the full push. And I don't know what they'll do, and I don't know if it'll result in anything, but that's what it seems like to me.
And I think people generally think about that stuff wrong of like, turn on the marketing hose, get all these people in here, because it's like, well, what type of person do you want? You want some guy to, like Jack said, just come by your moments, then get burned because they bought the top and have a miserable experience. We've had a bunch of those. They don't seem too happy right now. Like, you want to cultivate the people who are like, holy cow, I got to be a part of this draft experience, this summer league experience. Holy cow, like I'm getting to unlock this utility at the stadiums near my home. Like, you want to build up fans who fall in love with the platform. And I think that's way more of a slow burn, and it might not send the price action through the roof immediately like we see in all these other projects right now. But I think people need to think through what type of fans and what type of fans they want the marketing to actually cultivate.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's what I just had another idea, since we always love throwing out ideas, but talking about all the physical card stuff, and I see we've seen popularity with infinite objects. Like, people want ways to display or have a tangible relationship with their TopShot moments. What if there was something where TopShot partnered with just like a badass like printing firm, sports card, whatever infrastructure, and it was like you could just pay a small fee to mint your moments as physical sports cards? And if I wanted to spend a few $100s on minting and shipping to get my entire TopShot collection in card form, the designs would be cooler than a lot of the legacy stuff, and that shows up at my desk or at my house, and I have my whole collection that's just a mirror image of my TopShot collection. I feel like that could be fun.
I think people they definitely want to be able to display their collection. I don't foresee TopShot doing it, obviously, because everything Roham and them have ever said is, they want to be on digital. But yes, encouraging the third parties to continue building and being able to rep your shit and have it at your house or wear it out. Like, they're releasing merch. Like, that's really smart. But they also have to make sure the merch is cool,
Yeah, this is the beauty of the chat. Jamie said he would buy it in an instant. Empower Duster says terrible idea. So that's how the internet works there. But yeah, I just think people want to interact with these things. They want to feel like it is more than that. Like our friend Carlini, he's been collecting as much of the physical counterparts to his NFT collection as he can. And he's one of the biggest NFT collectors out there. I mean, these guys, even the ones who are making life-changing money just flipping these, they still want that tangible aspect.
Yeah.
Carlini.
Even when it's a man's coin that maybe someone on this show would have. I think you might be muted, Mike.
No, I'm not muted. Maybe I'm having internet issues. Can you guys hear?
You are having a little internet connection. Soccer Dave is in the chat.
Let me jump off. I'll come back in.
His internet.
I'll jump off and come back in.
Yeah, hop off and come back in. I don't know what we didn't hear from Andy tonight. He has been when I've taken a peek on Twitter, he has been shit posting tonight. You guys go ask Andy on Twitter where he's at. He didn't tell us he was not going to be here.
He's too busy fractionalizing CryptoPunks.
Yeah, Soccer Dave offering up his internet. No, that's not I don't think that's how this works, Kitchen. I think that would make it worse. Yeah, so as we wait for Mike here, why don't we start kicking off? You went shopping in the Top Shot marketplace. Was it coming back from the physical NFT convention that got you inspired to go purchasing, or was it that calendar invite that you had reminded yourself of?
So it's a mix between everything. First off, I'll say I think the people that are actively, I'll say, bitching on Twitter that keep an eye on everything Top Shot does at this point in time, my general feeling, and maybe it's just my own feeling, is that if there was, I don't want to say a guarantee, but for months, all we've known is if you buy this moment, it will be worth less tomorrow. And that's like the worst, but I think if there's any kind of confidence instilled in the market that maybe, for example, the Chris Middleton finals moment, like that there is a point that another person will pay a price that could be higher and isn't going to undercut, that like people would be excited to jump back in. Like I think they actually do love the idea of Top Shot. It just financially makes zero sense to buy something for $100 if all we know is in a month it's going to be worth 80 or 40 or $20. So one of the things I did to counter that, the two moves I've made, I did a trade for the Quickly and I went with the Reggie Bullock Cosmic. I check the market virtually every day. I check a list of players: Giannis, Durant, LeBron, Luka, the superstars of the league, the players I think that are worth collecting. And I keep an eye on Halliburton hollow, LaMelo hollow, and I keep an eye on them. And if they do hit a price where I think that makes sense to get back in, I'm willing to buy. I also would rather get a Quickly number one, because even if the MGLE drops like it has from $300 to $180, that's a moment that it's kind of priced in however I price it, right? And I think starting to buy moments that are kind of more so on your price versus what the market says. Now, if the game is trading and flipping $60 moments, that might not be ready to come back yet, because it is unclear what's going to be valuable today when Series 3 comes out and the oversupply and all that different stuff. But if you start to buy very specific moments, and I'm not talking about smashing the floor or anything, just buy moments that you value at that price that you're willing to hold for a while. I think that's valuable. And so I got the Ricky does not like Quickly. I bought the Cosmic Bullock because obviously being a Knicks fan, that's, to me, that's the legendary set of the entire game. And to be one of 49 Knicks fans who own a Knicks Cosmic, although we let Reggie Bullock go, I just thought it had been listed at 8K. It got down to 3K, 3,300 or something, which is the cheapest a Cosmic is. It was like a snap buy to me. And, if they ever reward Cosmic holders, I have one of those and it's cheaper than my season tickets. He rips LeBron James. I just felt like that was a moment that I'm willing to hold. I'm definitely not flipping a Reggie Bullock Cosmic. He's not even on the team 2 days after I bought it.
What do you think of this buy as a fellow Knicks fan here, Mike?
I like to buy less about the Knicks and more about the Cosmic set. I think it's been fairly well reported on that. I'm a big fan of the Cosmic set. In the set description, it literally says this is a thank you to our early adopters. And I think collectors really like the concept of it's the first legendary set, and unique in that it's kind of a one-time thing where it was a very, very early legendary sets. And I think the moments themselves were actually voted on by the community in terms of who would be included in the set and who wouldn't be included in the set. And it's one player per team, and it's just short of 1,500 total moments. So I like that. I think there's a reasonable argument to be made that Hollow is a better set. It's the flagship of the platform and wherever else. I don't think you can go too wrong. I lean Cosmic. A lot of other people lean Hollow, and they're both great.
So I'll personally say I actually don't think it's close. It might be because I own some Cosmics. I own a couple Hollows too. This is like there's Hollows. This is 49 moments, legendary set for all of time, never to be created again. That's about as rare as it can get, in my opinion. So that's kind of what I think. It'll be interesting to see if Top Shot ever kind of determines it, because I actually think there is value in them like naming, what these sets mean and building storylines into them. Yeah, the fact that Hollow was minted first is a storyline within itself. It's not like a storyline that's valuable to me. But I think the Cosmic is just such a special set, and I love the artwork on it too.
I'm also just laughing looking at the sales history here. Bales buying one for $1,500 January 19th and then selling it to Osimo 6 days later for about a $4,000 profit. Sorry, what were you going to say, Mike?
So I was going to say, part of the reason I lean Cosmic is I always try to think to myself, 10 years down the line, there's going to be 10 different Hollow sets. And when you search through the Hollow set, there's going to be 10 different LeBrons, and depending on how long he plays, obviously, but a lot of LeBron Hollows. And so for that reason, I lean Cosmic. A lot of people, though, have said that, the Hollow set has the NBA team logos on them, which people really, really like. Instead of the Cosmic art, they have the team logos on them effectively. And people really like that about them. They think it's like a truer product, that it's, more of an NBA licensed product rather than kind of an NFT art / basketball product. And I lean Cosmic, but I'm kind of trying to, put some reasoning on each side here. In terms of kind of my moves I've made recently, I haven't made any huge moves. I think I bought, 3 or 4 moments over the last couple of weeks. And part of the reason is, to Jack's point, for the last 4 or 5 months, it's kind of been, why buy if you can get it cheaper tomorrow? And even if I feel comfortable with the price, I know it feels like the rest of the ecosystem is thinking, why buy because it's going to be cheaper tomorrow? And so you can say with reasonable confidence that it'll keep going for a while until it stabilizes, and then people start, sneaking back in. And so I felt like there's a few different bookmarks I have of different filters in the marketplace, and most days I kind of pop that into the search bar and just see where are that set of 15 moments. Where are they right now? I have a good sense of where they were over the last week, over the last month, and I found those moments had essentially kind of stabilized, and if anything, we're ticking up again a little bit. And I don't think it's going to take that much upward momentum for the people who have been kind of waiting on the sidelines saying, man, this thing goes down every day, to say, I actually enjoy the platform, and now I see some positive momentum. It seems to have stabilized. And whether that means that the people who are heavily undercutting are slowing down or fully liquidated, or this is just a momentary blip, I think it's enough to try and get back into the scene, and we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see where we are in 2 or 3 weeks. It seems like we have some nice momentum right now, at least on the moments that I track. But we'll see if it has staying power, because I know there are a lot of frustrated people, and I know Twitter is not the most reliable source of information, but there are a lot of people who are looking to exit or sell, and so we'll see. It's markets, buyers, some sellers. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Did you have a price target on this one, Mike? Had you been hawking this LeBron Finals for a while?
No, I would say I'm more of a relative value buyer, where now I kind of look at the overall platform, and to me, I tracked for a few days and again thought it stabilized and was ticking up again, and then it's like, okay, I feel it again. There are, I don't know, probably 50 to 100 different moments that, I have 2,300 moments, 2,400 moments total, but a lot of them are concentrated in a fairly small subset of moments. And so I kind of glanced around at those, looked around at general prices, and essentially tried to find which ones looked out of whack relative to each other. LeBron rares from Series 1 relative to LeBron bases from Series 1, based on market cap type analysis. If you look at the edition size times the lowest ask, which is pretty simplistic analysis, how do things play out? So we're focusing on this Western Conference Finals moment. The rationale here was sort of that TopShot has made it pretty clear that they want to reward people for collecting rares and legendaries. And so even though I've historically been more of a TopShot debut base collector, I did want to add to the rare stables. And I also like the idea of this one, that they're going to be burning, I don't know how many, 500 of these or something like that, roughly cutting the population in half. And I don't, they seem pretty hesitant to burn in general. So I think it's a nice little concept that this is going to be the only set, this in the Eastern Conference, where they have a burn. And maybe that changes over time, but for now that's the case. And so that was kind of my rationale here. But in answer to your question, I didn't say when this gets down to whatever it was, 1775, I'm going to hit buy. To me, I think that we saw the platform stabilize, and this one stood out to me as relatively attractive value next to other moments that I tracked.
I also see a comment, Malik. He said it was a bit up. He said, I'm team hopefully get one of either of them, a hollow or a cosmic. It's kind of how I felt at the show. And that's why I delisted my LeBron cosmic, because to me, it's like, if this sells, will I ever be able to own one again? And I think a lot of people, we have to think about, a lot of people are always wanting to get to that next level, like some form or fashion. There's moments on the platform that I want to be able to own that I can't own unless I sell other ones that I also want to own. Or if I find a ridiculous amount of money somewhere in the world. So I think we sometimes forget, like, these legendary moments are legendary. They are very scarce. And when I made these two moves, the Quickly and now the Bullock, these are moves that, if I check in a month, if the Cosmic set's down 10% and the Quickly MGLE is down 10%, doesn't necessarily mean mine specifically is down 10%, because it is a very unique, special moment in the grand scheme of things. So that's where I'm starting to go, is like in this market, feeling like prices have dropped enough to where I can buy moments that I know I'm holding for a long time, rather than, I don't think there's a great market to flip and trade in right now, obviously.
What was the Jack? I mean, there was a very cryptic tweet about a moment that you wanted to buy. What are you eyeing? Are you not going to reveal this until you pack your bag?
I think I want to pack my bags first. So it's not a $16,000 moment. It's a moment. I have some Dapper balance, so I would just need 16,000 more. I would use some ETH for my MetaMask to combine, but there's a moment that I just think is insanely undervalued.
Can we each have one guess, and if we get it right, you can tell us we're right or not?
Yeah,
all right.
We're not in February. I don't think if I say it on the stream that someone's going to go and poach it right now. But
I think you underrate your influence, sir.
No, I don't think that. But
I'm kidding. But
I think it. I can kind of give my thesis on it. But yeah, go ahead. Get some guesses in.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. You said there was a set group of players that you generally look at. I don't know. I'm seeing like a Giannis legendary at 1,500 or 15,000. But you said it's 16,000.
It sounds like it's more than that.
It's more. It's actually not significantly more. I guess significantly more. It's much more than that. Like I have 8K in Dapper balance, and I have more in ETH. So
I have another guess.
We get one guess.
It's not a Luka.
I'm guessing Steph Curry hollow.
That's correct. That is correct.
Okay.
So the Steph Curry hollow is listed at.
He doesn't have a cosmic.
Correct. He does not have a cosmic. I actually own one of the Curry hollows. Go to Stephen Curry and sort by descending.
Okay.
That is his most expensive moment. Stephen Curry. Like Kitchen says just bought it. I mean that like this is Stephen Curry. Now, of course, the annoying part is they picked a pass, and Steph Curry's known for his
That's
three-pointers.
crazy. That's the of all Dapper's mistakes.
That's definitely up there. But Steph Curry's top moment to be listed for 35K. It's why I bought a Steph Curry at the show. My thesis on Curry is, like every collectible ever, growing up, you rip packs and your parents pay for the packs, $10, $12. You have a little collection, shit like that. And then you get real people money. And when it's your turn, you start buying up your generation. So the MJ and then my generation started buying up LeBron. the kids are fucking obsessed with Stephen Curry, and he's gonna go down as the kid who literally changed the sport forever. Like altered like the way people love Allen Iverson. Imagine AI with a broadcasting career, being a sick golfer, having a massive social media presence, and every accolade known to man besides a Finals MVP. Also, when they talk historically about him, they'll talk about the fact that he beat Bron in multiple finals, like a unanimous MVP. Stephen Curry, I think, will be, the player that people collect when they grow up and get money. So that's one I would sit on for a decade and just wait. But I don't know if I'll be able to get it.
To Levine about it. Levine's got one listed just above that. You might be able to get a friendship deal.
I was just looking at this. Jeremy, of course, gets it for $5,000 on January 12th.
I have one on. You can see on January 6th. I actually have one, but I would.
What you want it? Now I'm confused. You want another one?
I want another one. Like that's how much I kind of believe in the moment. And then the next one would be a Giannis Cosmic 49.9. Like I really check the market every day. I don't think you need to be an active buyer to do that. And then the final thing I did was I did do the math on how many quickly moments I could get for $8,000. It wasn't as many as I thought it would have been, but yeah, I think buying big moments. What's the biggest sale? I think it's that Giannis #1 cereal. Like I think that's a fantastic buy. I saw people in the chat saying that the fact that the big collectors, the whales, only talk about Series 1 doesn't give a lot of confidence in the market for new collectors. I think that's interesting. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
So, I mean, I think for someone like that, I mean, for a comment like that, new collectors have access to Series 1 as much as we do.
I think I saw a Series 1 base of someone for like $80.
Their Series 1 base is down to for a good player. I mean, yeah, like Paul George is down there, Julius Randle's down there, and so people have access to it. I mean, like my view is always, no one's forcing you to buy the next pack. If instead of buying the Series 2 Hollow, you want to buy a Series 1, go ahead. My personal preference is Series 1 for the simple reason that, similar to the Hollow thing I described, if I look and we're suddenly in Series 11, where it's 2031 and we're in Series 11. And I can, pull, I don't know, there's some new player that I like, and I can get his moment, or I can get a Steph Curry 15,000 edition size from Series 2. I'm not that excited about a Curry 15,000 moment. Is that worth more than a Series 8, 250,000 edition size Steph Curry? I don't know. I mean, at some point it crosses the rarity barrier where it's just another moment. It doesn't matter if there's 15,000, 35,000, 112,000. And it becomes more about the play or the season, or do they win MVP that year? Do they win a championship that year? And so for me, the scarcity of Series 1, the idea that in most collectibles, people look for the Founders Edition or the Founders Series or the First Series or whatever it is, and low edition sizes. That's why I primarily stick with 1. And I think we don't know what happens to Series 2 when Series 3 comes out. Right now, if you feel like you don't want to buy Series 1, you buy Series 2, and that's it. There's only 2 alternatives. When it's Series 6 and there's Series 1 and 4 other alternatives, and then the current year of Series 6, what does that do for Series 2? I don't know, but it's an unknown, and I'm trying to stick with what I do know. I know exactly the size of Series 1, which we now know for Series 2. And yeah, I mean, for all those reasons. And look, I still buy every new pack I can get my hands on for Series 2 and hold on to all of it except for, I don't know, what one moment that I sold over the last 6 months.
Have we ever gotten anywhere? Because I'm not in liquid enough or rich enough to get Hollow, but I have always eyed his Series 1 base moment, but this was one where the full supply is not out yet. Have we ever gotten any updates? That was a hot topic of conversation in March, and I haven't heard much about that recently.
So for one question, I guess Curtis fired another question. So for the Legendary Finals right now, it's always a little bit challenging right after a pack release. Right now, if I wanted to buy one moment, like the Giannis block, let's say, now's not the time. You want to do it after all the challenges are done and the focus has kind of waned. And you buy with Jack and the hollow, when that Steph Curry hollow was in a challenge way back when, it was way more expensive than what it was a month after
But
that.
the Giannis isn't part of the
Giannis
challenge.
block is something I'd love to add to my collection. Well, it's part of one of the 2 challenges. I haven't been looking at that, but it's definitely going to be part of a challenge right now. I don't know if it was part of one already. I don't know. Is the Giannis challenge? Can someone answer that? But anyway, so that's why I'm not getting involved with it now. I do like that Giannis block. I talked to the guy who owned the last mint at Library, who's in the chat, ended up buying and thought about buying it from him. But it's an illogical time to buy one out of the set when they're still active in upcoming challenges. And so personally, that's why I stayed away from it when I knew I wasn't going to do the challenge. I'd rather, I might go buy the Drew and the Giannis moment in the market at some point. But to me, it doesn't make sense to do it right now.
I've been looking at the final stuff a lot. I haven't thought about doing the stuff for the Chris Paul challenge, obviously, but spending $4K to do a challenge for the player that lost the final, like, I see a ton of value in the championship badge. I could totally see myself grabbing a Giannis finals. It's at almost 5K. I'd bring it down. I'd wait for it to drop potentially. Maybe it doesn't drop, but I think now that they're being more conscious of what plays they're picking, that's super important. It's why I still think the most underrated moment on the platform is the LeBron finals in the bubble. First Lakers title in the bubble. LeBron, like, series 1. To me, that's just like an insane moment. And that's one I've always been chasing. And it got not really within striking distance, but it came to a price where I wish I could have been able to pull the trigger. And that's one I'll always be chasing, even though I own some other really dope stuff.
I want to give a shout out to No Smock from our Discord. He's been on the show to rip a pack. He had a big purchase today, bought the LeBron James Hollow here for just under 14K. He's going to be joining us in Vegas, but pretty nice buy by him here today.
Yeah, I was talking to him about that. I like that a lot. And look, similar to my LeBron buy, for me, as you can see, I'm sticking with Series 1. I'm sticking with LeBron and pretty known commodities. That's what I've always done. I like to have a level of certainty that there's nothing that's going to happen in LeBron's career that's going to alter the historical perception of him. He could have a crappy year and maybe people would say, okay, MJ gets the nod over LeBron, but like worst case scenario, he's the second best player ever. And so I like a buy like this with a special serial number from the flagship set of the platform. And so I like it. I thought it was a nice buy. And again, it seems like the market has stabilized a little bit, and so things like this could start getting picked off. And with some of the huge sales in the NFT space, I don't know if those are the same buyers who are going to come onto TopShot, but there's a lot of liquidity floating around the NFT world right now.
I was pretty convinced that the Series 2 stuff were bad buys, definitely in the middle of Series 2. But having gone to the card show and just knowing, like, the goal, I think the goal should still be, and I think what will be most valuable is Series 1. But that doesn't mean that Series 2 are necessarily bad buys. Like, those could absolutely go up in value over time because it's just different access levels. If you can't get the Cosmic, but you can get a LeBron Hollow Series 2 for 10K, 8K. Okay, what are those ratios even making sense? And then you can get all the way down to $10 for a LeBron moment. So there's different levels for every investor. The Steph Curry card I bought at the convention, is it the best Steph Curry card in the world? No, not at all. But for what money I had at the time, that made the most sense. And I think that can be the case absolutely for a bunch of people in Series 2.
We're getting questions. It's starting to feel like February and early March again, because we're hearing stop talking about the high-end stuff. Give me some salt of the earth buys here in the marketplace. I mean, I am admittedly, I'm not in the weeds on the day-to-day happenings of the lower end of the marketplace or the higher end for that matter. But do you guys have any stuff you like on the low end that you might think might be a good entry point right now?
How low end? Like $100 or like? 300.
Yeah,
bucks,
let's say in the
300 bucks?
100 to 500 range if you were wanting to make a buy here.
Can I do my boring like Series 1 Top Shot
Yeah,
moments, or
go
should I
for it.
like
They-
sprinkle into Series 2 a little bit? So
No, we need to hammer the fundamentals.
Okay. So someone just put in the chat, asked about Jason Tatum, and I think that the NBA kind of has a pretty clear top tier, at least in my opinion, where it's LeBron, Luka, Giannis. I don't know who else I'm going to put there. Durant, and then there's kind of that next tier, which is I guess Harden's probably in there from like a skill wise, but let's talk younger guys. The Tatum, Trae Young. I don't know. Jackie, there's some, Donovan Mitchell, exactly. Booker, exactly. And I think those guys are, I don't know if any of them are well positioned to be perennial MVP candidates, but they are definitely big fan favorites, people that, players that people outside of their markets may own their jerseys. You might see a Donovan Mitchell walking around New York, a Donovan Mitchell jersey. You might see a Booker jersey, in Chicago, whatever else. Like, I think that is kind of, for me, my personal cutoff for where I'd actually want to own one of these moments. And so there are a decent number of these Top Shot debuts that are in that 100 to 500 range of the good young players. And so I like that. I think that the Top Shot debut right now, as much as everyone talks about it, is sort of underrated because a decent portion of the overall ecosystem has the Top Shot debut tag right now because everything had it in Series 1, basically, and there's all these repeated sets, and there were a reasonable number of them in Series 2, but as more series are released, the Top Shot debut will be relatively scarce and a lower percentage of the overall ecosystem. And so I think they will attribute value to that in the collector score or in some other way that, it's the kind of platform rookie card. And so I like those. And so I would say that's kind of the category I'd poke at. The Trays, Tatums, Bookers, Mitchells, and I'm sure there's a few others that I'm not mentioning of the Top Shot debut bases.
What about someone mentioned this in the chat too, and I've been interested in LaMelo because I have the Cool Cats LaMelo. I did bink the MGLE LaMelo as well, but I still don't have the LaMelo base. It's currently at 575 right now. What are your guys' thoughts on that as a potential scoop?
Let me see what some other LaMelos are. The thing for me, you've got LaMelo base, okay, 575. It's going to be a super liquid moment, but that's one of those where if it does drop to 500, over the next 3 weeks, you're going to be like, that's annoying, and I don't like Top Shot, stuff like that. Whereas if you can climb up, it's twice the price, but you get an MGLE, it's only $4.99 of those. That's a pretty scarce thing. I actually think the rookie badges are a little underrated. I guess because the Top Shot color is like TS is so clear. The rookie badge, I think they should be changing the rookie badge. It doesn't really symbolize that it was a rookie. In every sports card, you've got the RC in the corner. And I think the MGLE, it's more expensive, but that's one that I buy it and I know okay, there's 500 of these. It's LaMelo fucking Ball from his rookie year. If you could buy a LaMelo, if you knew there were only 500 rookies LaMelo Ball cards, they'd be worth a lot of money. So it's also that moment. I didn't realize that. I might scoop one of those right now, actually.
It's a sick moment.
Yes, an on-stream $1,000 buy. Let's see it. We can get the bot going.
All right, let me share my screen. We'll get the bot going. I think this is a dope moment. I'm not a huge LaMelo fan, but I wasn't a huge I'm okay being wrong from time to time. What before I do make the buy, what do you guys think of this average sale thing? And let's use the chat because I'll definitely I like spending $50 more to get a better cereal as well.
Yeah, you don't have great options here.
Yeah, let's see.
333 is kind of fun. I don't know.
2K.
Oh, when you said $50, you meant a little more. All right.
No. I just surveying. So to get number 130, would I pay 100 more bucks?
How much of a numerology bro are you? Do you prefer 130 over 333, just as an example? Because 333 is there, and it's kind of a fun number. I don't know. It's not a meaningful number.
I think I would prefer. Maybe I'll just buy Pete's.
Mine's not listed.
You're a hodler.
I'm excited to hold that moment. Like I said,
Yeah.
I had never gotten around to getting the LaMelo base, and then getting that moment, which is, I mean, just objectively as a moment, is way cooler than the base. Like I'm stoked to have that one.
All right. I
So
think.
one other thing to think about when you're buying here, and I don't know, I
Yeah.
don't know if this is a slippery slope, but when I bought the LeBron Western Conference Finals, I actually looked into the accounts. I did a little investigative research of who was selling, and
Yeah.
the guy who I ultimately bought it from was actually completing the current Finals legendary sets, and I was like, okay, this guy's like in. I would much rather the dollars go into someone's hands who may reinvest into the community, into the platform, than someone who's just going to simply withdraw it as quickly as possible and talk more shit on Twitter. And so I did try and look into the accounts, what things are for sale, what they've been collecting recently, and I felt better about giving it to someone who, seemed to be invested in the platform and actually enjoying the platform.
So
I don't know if that's wrong. If you shouldn't do that, but I did.
But the his base, which is 4K, 4,000 moments, and it's 575. Like, I would rather own the MGLE than the base. It's obviously more expensive, but I feel like some people want that Top Shot debut. They want the quad badge for a lot of people. What do you think? Like, I saw it with the Quickly too. Like, Quickly's MGLEs are 180 and his bases are like 80. Like, and there's
ratio is all
500
out of whack. All the base market caps are much higher than the MGLE market caps, but like
right,
it's normally between like 1.5 to 2 times higher for the bases. I tracked that, but when it crosses that like 2x barrier for certain moments, I start looking at the MGLE.
All right, this one's.
I don't know why.
I kind of like this one. I think I'm gonna get this one.
Should we look at the person's account a little bit?
Yeah. While my order's processing, I gotta stop the screen share.
I took it off for you.
Yeah. But yeah, look at that person's account, and then let me know if I should be hitting. Let's see, hidden impacts. There's still some hidden impacts.
What's the account?
It's number 158. It doesn't tell me.
Oh, okay, I got you. I'll go find it. Yeah.
Liberty like the 123.
Yeah.
In terms of the average sales that you asked about, so I think everyone likes it right now because the number is higher than the current ask, which makes everyone feel good about that's going to, maybe prompt some market activity. I like it as just another data point. I just think that like everyone's receiving it well today because it looks higher than the lowest ask. So I'd like to see what everyone thinks after a couple of months when there's going to be periods where that number actually looks lower than the lowest ask, which may give people pause before buying. So I think everyone's gut reaction is this is awesome, but I'd like to give it some time before I offer my thoughts. But I always think more data is better.
Yeah. All right. As you look at that, I know we always seem to get to higher price moments. I think let's go look at, what's the cheapest hollow you can get? Brogdon
hollow
for
icon or hollow series 1?
Hollow icon. I mean, you got Brogdon for 600, Christian Wood for 600, Terrence Ross is big on the platform for 650. So those are interesting. MGLEs, metallic.
I'm not going to make it. My internet's not even loading right now. I'm going to my. I don't know where my phone is. It's a disaster. I can't check out this person's account.
NBL, NGMI. You hate to see it.
All right, I'm just gonna fire.
I'm not going to make it. Fire away.
But
I do think it's a kind of an interesting thing to do. If you can keep it in the ecosystem, I think there's a certain appeal to that.
No, I totally get that. Yeah, MGLE, like you can get a Dragic MGLE Series 2 for $58. Like it comes down to, do you want to own the top players in the world at their base, or do you want to own a Mike Conley for $70, MGLE, a PJ Washington? I'm just scrolling down here. D White, it's my boy. Bridges, great young player. Mitchell Robinson, probably on his way out. DiVincenzo, $85 with the championship badge. Like, there's now stuff that, remember, in the February run up, like what we kept talking about was you can only get in to Top Shot by spending $600 on an Ish Smith base. And it was right. Like that's what we would always talk about. And now for $600, you can literally acquire every single player on the platform at whatever level you want. And I think that's a good thing. So yeah, I just added the LaMelo Ball. Lameezius is officially in my collection.
Lameezius.
I'm
Nice.
excited about it. It's a
Still,
dope moment.
Stop trying to make Lameezius happen, but it is a dope moment.
Now that
I like it.
bought the
I'm
moment-
into it.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
I'm bringing on Fran
nice.
Millionaire here real quick, Mike.
What up, Fran?
To join us.
What's
Fran,
going on, guys?
Yeah, last time we saw you were just coming from playing golf. It looks like you might have just come from playing golf again.
It's a Tuesday night thing.
Did you have glasses on last time?
I did, yeah. I just took them off. They're uncomfortable with the headset.
Did we
Did you get
tell you
LASIK?
last time how great your voice is? I feel like we had to have gone over that.
No.
You
don't
sound
believe it
like
is.
if someone told me you had been the Harry Carey, was you actually, and you were just the voice of the Cubs all these years, I would buy it.
Wow. Haven't heard that. I've been told Dane Cook in the past. I don't know about that, but that's what they say.
I can see the Dane Cook. Yes, for sure. How you doing? You enjoying some hardcore Top Shot talk tonight?
Yeah, it feels like it's February again.
There you go. Yeah. What have you been making any purchases here in the marketplace?
I haven't made any purchases recently. Maybe about a month or so ago, I made some purchases. I'm originally from Indiana, and Indiana is obviously basketball is life in Indiana, especially like high school basketball is like the equivalent of like what they say high school football is in Texas. And so I collected every player that's currently on TopShot that played high school basketball in Indiana. So I have no way to like display that collection, but
Yeah, you do.
I did that about a month ago.
Showcase.
Yeah, but there's more than
Perfect
10. I
use
think
case.
there's like 14. So
Yeah, but
any
make
bigger
like version
showcase.
1 A squad, like rank them and have an A squad and a B squad.
That's dope. That's dope.
I like that. So
So
who's like the best Indiana high school player?
Zeller's up there for sure.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Zeller's number 1, and there are more than 10 in
I
total?
mean,
The Zellers
there's-
are like
there's
legends in
14.
Indiana, Mike. They're
Yeah. There was 3
legends.
of them. All 3 of them were Mr. Basketballs in Indiana.
Really?
Yeah.
What was Harrison Barnes? Was he Iowa or Indiana?
Not Indiana.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm striking out on so who else is in this collection then?
I mean, I can pull it up. Let's see here. Also, I was going to talk a little bit. No Smoke
Yeah.
asked me in the chat earlier today what I was hoping to pull. I've got to be honest. I'm a Cool Cat Master Challenge collector, so I've been eligible for all of these pack drops. I've gotten them, all of them since I finished the Master Challenge, and I've gotten the worst moment in the set every single time. So I don't know what that's worth in terms of pack luck, like if you get the worst moment from the set every single time, but that's kind of where I've been.
So you're saying you're due tonight.
I'm due.
And remind me what pack you have that we're going to open in a little bit.
I actually have I have 2. I have the NBA Finals pack, the Legendary pack, and I have the Series 2 Release 4 of the Playoff pack.
Very nice. Very nice. Sorry, Mike, I feel like right when we brought on Fran, you were saying something and I accidentally had to cut you off there.
I don't remember, but I have lots of thoughts bouncing around. So I'll say one other quick one. In terms of other moments in that $100 to $500 range, there are a couple of fun young guys. People have mentioned MPJ, who I must have like only 1 or 2 of his moments, and I thought Kevin Porter Jr. is another fun one right now, where he had a 50-point, 11 assist game that I've mentioned a few times, I think, and there are not many players in the NBA who can have a game like that. And he's 21, 22 years old, got kicked out of Cleveland effectively. And if either of those guys really puts it together, there aren't that many good rookies. There aren't that many good players that have rookie moments on the platform right now. And yeah, so those are fun ones. And so I'll leave it at that. I'll use my comment spot for that.
I'll give a super fun one. In Series 2, Luka Doncic All-Star Game. Only 2,000 moments. And I think he's really, really good at basketball, people. Like potentially, I mean, he's going to be the favorite maybe to win the MVP next season. They kind of want him to be the face of the league. He's carrying Slovenia through the Olympics. He hasn't lost. And that for $200 is probably the best price. And you can kind of get something that's rare. Like after the 200, you drop to a Seeing Stars for 56. For $56, but it's 10,000 of them. A playoff moment, there's 12,000 of them. So I'm gonna get a Luka All-Star Game. Because if you're gonna be in it forever, you'll never forget All-Star time for Top Shot. I mean, whether it was the worst weekend of your life, the best weekend of your life, it was something that I actually think may be unforgettable. That set just surrounded. That's why I bought that skull back in the day with the Top Shot shit related to All-Star. That was like the wildest weekend of our lives.
Well, I'm surprised you don't have PTSD from that weekend of losing a very public knockout competition.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So maybe for me, it was more special, but that whole weekend was just the most ridiculous fucking thing that I think Top Shot, like, was that the top? Was that the peak?
It was just before, I think.
It was coming down a little bit then. I would say it was like late February was the peak of Mania.
Yeah.
What was the All-Star weekend this year?
It's mid-March.
Oh yeah, so then it was after the peak.
Yeah. Because I remember I took my week off, and I remember I was waiting for a little bit of a dip. I bought the Tatum base moment on my trip, and then people were blowing up my spot, saying that I was breaking my social media vacation rules by buying Top Shot moments. So that happened. What do you guys say? Should we open some packs here?
I'm down. I'm grabbing this Luka All-Star Game.
All right. Jack's on a buying spree, and we're about to open some packs. Yo, what up? It's DJ Pete Overzet. Welcome to the club. We didn't think things were going to get popping tonight, but it's about to get lit. Behind door number 2, it's a 3-pointer. 13-25, Kevin Durant.
Let's go.
We're going to get a LaMelo. We're going to get a Luka. We're going to get a LeBron. Click the reveal. Let's go. God damn it. I don't need another layup. To the window. To the wall. The De'Aaron Fox stripped down my ball. 293 assists. Let's go. 293. Everybody get their drinks. Let's get a cheers tonight before we open up these 9 packs. All right. Cheers. Fran, thank you for joining us again. And Jack is doing some prime influencing here. Already inspired Joey to add the Luka to the collection as well. Also, just came across the ticker. A zombie CryptoPunk, red hair, red eyes, just sold for 1,000 ETH, a cool $2.5 million. The punk market remains on fire.
Hot. All right, I have a question. Would you rather own a LeBron Cosmic or like a CryptoPunk for 250K?
I mean, I'd rather own a LeBron Cosmic.
Fran?
I think a Cosmic.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very curious with the chat because I saw some punks in that range, and I started to think, like, if you do the comparison, like, how big of an NBA fan do you have to be? Or is it like, because when you start thinking about, like, there are 49 LeBron Cosmics, but like there's also a bunch of like 10,000 punks. It's very limited, but it's also not that limited. I'm curious what people. So Edmas says Cosmic. Yeah, I guess.
I think for me it comes down to the fact that I'm a much bigger NBA fan than I am general crypto collectible fan. I'm a sports fan, and I've always been a sports fan throughout my whole life. I play a lot of sports, and I kind of just discovered this whole crypto world. That my memorabilia preferences would still stick with my kind of lifetime affinity there.
Well, yeah, and I guess too, what 250,000 is going to get you in the punk world seems to be rapidly changing by the day. You're going to just end up with a squiggly haired punk here pretty soon. For
Stringy, a nasty stringy.
No, it's because Pete's been buying squigglies low key.
I'm just smashing that floor, man.
Smashing the squiggly floor. It goes to my whole thesis on if real money ever does come into TopShot. Like if you sort by lowest ass descending, like you can get some crazy high value shit. Like if you have $10 million and you come in, like you can clean up and you can run the platform. If you did that in the sports card world, like you could own the biggest Mahomes card. You could own like a bunch of Jordans. Like you really would not be that big of a player. You come in 10 million to TopShot, like you run TopShot and you own everything of high value. It's kind of what we saw Dingling do to a degree. I still think think about it, the max sale is 250K that we could ever see right now on platform. And people are buying punks for 2.5. I don't think it's the same audience, but I just always think about, what if a real collector comes in, sees the value, and just dominates TopShot? Could happen.
It could happen. Fran, I hate to presume that you know how to share your screen. I mean, it would be an honor, in fact, to give you instructions. How are you doing here on the screen share these days?
You're more than welcome to walk me through it.
Paul Revere.
His buddy is back. Yeah.
No way.
Quick question.
Oh, God. Seriously? And Clay's not here to help me out with this. Did you see this last week, Fran?
I did.
Oh, my God.
Is Fran coming to Vegas?
I am not. I have weddings 3 of the next 4 weekends.
Wow.
Brutal stretch here.
That's fun though, right? I've never been to a wedding of age.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Fun, but
a wedding what?
Of 8. Like I've been to the last wedding I went to was my aunt's when I was like 8.
So, because Jack's too young to have any friends that are getting married right now.
Yeah,
okay, I get
but
it.
Usually by now there's like one couple who.
Right, there's that one early couple.
Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately,
Are these bots getting smarter? They're using my name now.
Unfortunately, I think I might be on the closest path of my friends, but there are some friends that I'm friends with, like Texas. It's Ring by Spring, but I didn't get the invite. So
Jack, if you were hypothetically, if you were to get engaged and have a wedding in a year, do you think I'd make the invite list?
Oh, that's a good question.
It all depends on how big the wedding is, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna have a big wedding. Like I want to have So I think
how big?
I think the question is, would Fran get invited? Like,
okay, so this is like a 5,000 person.
It must be a massive.
Well, that's why I wanted him to come to Vegas. I wanted him to come.
How many people would have to be on the invite list for Fran to make it?
Oh.
Jack's checking his Snapchat follower.
No. I
was part of Jack's original text thread, whatever that's worth, in February. Like I'm on some type of short list.
I think, maybe I'll just hit the PAX group on the text group. I'll just be like, you're all invited. Who wants to come? Because that group has turned sour. I could see Fran kind of coming in as like a voiceover of the montage. That, like,
all right, with that information, should we do a lot in thinks?
If you bring utility to the wedding,
oh God,
maybe you're in.
Okay,
the egg would not be invited. That's for sure. The egg would not be invited.
I did like. Is this a bot thing? I mean, or is this bot machine learning?
I think can't focus.
Yeah, it is Andy. Has anyone ever seen Andy in the egg in the same place at the same time?
Or red coat. Yeah.
I have not.
All right. Fran, this is what happens. I get Fran. I need a producer. I need to host the show, not be blocking someone who wants to blow me nonstop.
Fran,
wow.
Deck
that's
the
gonna
hoops.
Be
Anthony Davis, Deck the Hoops, $2,500. Nice buy there. I own a Deck the Hoops. That's why I tracked that one. Fenster, Cam Johnson, NBA Finals. Fentner. That's different than
Fenster's username is Adam Morrison Goat.
Yeah. Great username.
Great username. Yeah,
What? How does he have my what the hell?
All right, let's see this. I'm hyped. Let's get a freaking NBA 5. What's the most legendary pack we've ever opened on here? This might be it.
Yeah, I think this. We had a bunch of hollow icons.
Yeah, we had the hollow icons.
But this is. I mean, this is up there.
Yeah, I was on for the hollow icon. Hold that cat. Do you guys want me to do this playoff pack or?
Yeah, do the
no?
playoff pack.
All right,
Whatever you want.
we'll warm up with the playoff pack.
Hell yeah. Oh, with the music. There we go. Oh, and we get to hear the Quavo for the final. I'm hyped.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
This is a much more comfortable pack volume than we normally have. Normally, I can't hear anything.
How's
What's
he
going on?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Normally,
Fran, this is impressive.
Ooh. So this is a finals moment, but it's a base.
Yes.
That's interesting. Wait, I wonder if I can find myself. What game is this one? Game 1? I might have to go searching.
Jack or Mike, when do you have to host the show? I'm on chat watch. Vigilant.
Dennis Schroeder assist.
Should be an
Like,
arrow
all
on.
right, so like a moment like that, they lose the game. It's not. Do you think that will exist in Series 3? 40,000 of them.
I hope not.
That type of play. I think so. If you think about actual physical cards, I always try and bring it back to that market. There are some individual images, cards from games they lost, and the guy's just like standing on the court. Or,
100%. But do you think they need that, or is 12,000 or 15,000 or 20,000 enough? Like 40K of a Dennis Schroeder assist. I know the physical card market does it, but like, do we need that?
I don't know. Look, without those, it eventually. I don't know. I think they want it to be accessible. They want you to be able to come on. If you're a Lakers fan, there's some Lakers moment that you could buy for $1. They want things to be accessible. I think that's important for them.
All right, let's get Quavo in the club. Come on, Fran.
Let's get Quavo going.
Turn me up.
All right, here we go.
And they did a Genies integration. I'm a huge fucking fan of Genies too, so I'm hyped for this. Let's go.
Would you buy a Shawn Mendes Genie?
I did buy a Shawn Mendes. Migos. Where's the Genie? Does he open the pack? All right,
DJ
so there's
DJ
Darrell!
Hey, Castro, go crazy.
Yeah, we gone. Stop. We good. Stop.
All right, I'm starting here.
Scale. Let's go. Let me go. Let's go.
Hey.
Don't you want to record this?
Yeah. Straightening.
You gotta kind of being recorded.
Straightening. Don't not get straightening, but straightening. Don't not get straightening, but straightening.
DJ Darrell was playing at the club.
And this game, sit back, be patient. Act like went vacant, huh? Act like some been taken. What? Ain't nothing but a little bit of straightening. Been kicking, popping out daily. On the island, it's a movie I'm making. I'm counting the narrows with Robert De Niro. He telling them that you're amazing. Put that down. Get down. I bought
can't
2
believe
whips and I
that the
put my
Cavs
foot
gave this
on.
guy
She
$100
put this wrist
million.
on. She had the
Blows my
receipt
mind.
with Richard Mille Prone.
We haven't even talked free agency.
You know that.
I know. Hornet.
That was a game winner.
All right, to the
Look,
rares.
3 more.
3 rares and the legendary.
Ooh.
Jeremy Grant.
That's a clean ass cereal.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's a nice play.
Okay. Okay.
Hoku.
That's a rookie though, right?
And this guy sit back, be
Hoku,
patient.
yeah.
That's my second one. I also pulled that in the hollow icon.
You're a Poku
out daily.
Poku.
On the island, it's a movie I'm making. I'm counting the Neros with Robert De Niro. He telling them that you're amazing. Put that on.
Who was our guy that always used to come in the club?
She put this wrist on.
Buddy.
What up, player?
You know that's
Yeah.
the we on. Them gon' pull up and L at this together. Won't get what you home.
Buddy.
I don't do the
Buddy
fake
could be
kicking.
on the move.
There go a rocket is taking it. It's a problem with few, then we
All right,
straight
here we
in
go.
it.
Anyone
I thought he
know
was going to go to
where
the Lakers.
I know, but then they got Russ. Jeff Jones. DJ Durrell. Wait
right,
for
here
him
we
to
go.
say DJ Durrell before you open.
All right.
There you go. Now we're clear for takeoff. D-Book? D-Book? MJ.
You knew it. You knew it.
All right.
Fran.
All right, I need to ask something. What was the explanation that Cam Johnson's dunk was not the moment they picked?
There isn't an explanation that they offered. What I think is probably what goes on is somewhere in the NBA chain of communication or power, someone said, we don't want this moment for some reason. Because there's no other reason. And Dapper initially thought they could have the moment. So just guessing at some point they got told they can't. I don't know why.
Fran,
I thought it was a charge. So I thought they didn't want to highlight such a missed
Did it
call.
not count? Did it not
No,
count?
no, it counted. I just thought he was there.
But they reviewed it. They reviewed it.
Yeah.
And it stood.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but Fred, impressive streak of near bottom of the barrel.
But Fran, you keep
Unbelievable.
getting the packs? Is that what happens? You
Yeah, I
get 'em
keep
every
getting the
time?
packs, and I just get like the worst or the second to worst moment in the set every single time. I mean, it paid off. I didn't complete. I came in February, so I was a little behind on the Cool Cats thing, but I was right in the middle of it. I didn't buy until the very end of the Master Challenge, so it paid off in terms of like getting into the drops. Like I got into all of them. I got the packs for all of them, and got the least plus EV.
Well, how much
packs of
were
all
the
time.
packs?
Well, this one was $8.99. I don't know what,
I think this one
or
is
$7.99. Yeah, sorry, $7.99.
Well, Cam Johnson just sold for $6.90, so you didn't fully lose
Classic.
all your money.
I do have a couple packs floating around. I have a playoffs series 2 release 1. Should we do a walk-off pack here?
Oh,
Or
can
do
I
you
do
guys
2
have
comments
packs?
first? Well,
Yeah,
I
go
have
for
2 comments. My comment 1 is I played golf with Belair on Saturday, who really played nicely. We were teammates, and we took out Fenster. Fenster, who's getting way too many call-outs for one club TopShot episode, and another one of our friends. And on Friday night, Veerman and Library were in New York because they won the draft experience, and they went to the draft, shot around with Obi Toppin, had a whole thing, and we went for drinks on Friday night. And it was my first time meeting them in person, and it was awesome. I've spent many hours of my life interacting with them online, so it's always cool to meet up in person. And Over said it's going to be similar to us in Vegas, and it was a really great moment. So I'm excited for us to have that.
Lots of very emotional IRL meetings happening
Yes.
and on tap here. Fran, any final plugs for you here before we do a walk-off pack?
No, but I do have a question for you as a fractional owner now of a punk.
Yes.
I'm in the hoodie gang. I need some help on generating a profile picture. with my pixel of the hoodie gang. I
Yeah.
got the smoke pixel. So
Oh, you were
nice.
able to get that smoke pixel.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
one's tough
yeah,
to get.
yeah. D's was nice enough to grant me that. So yeah, if you can just help me generate that, that's all I ask in return for waiting to hold this pack.
Yeah.
For Club TopShot.
Actually, one of the reasons I quit my job is because I now have a spin-off Microsoft Paint business where people send me the full res photos of their CryptoPunks, and then I can actually create the specific fraction you have that you can then put in your profile picture.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll send it to you tonight after the show.
It is 1 ETH per pixel, but very comparable rates to a lot of what's out there right now in the art world.
That's nice.
Jack, any final words here?
The road to recovery for Vegas.
What is that?
Are you sick?
Is that NyQuil?
NyQuil? Wow. Jack,
Do you have a
pre-gaming his
dependency?
sleep.
Excuse me? Does that mean if I die?
What?
You want the new LaMelo moment I bought? Oh, a dependency on NyQuil.
Yes, yes.
I was
Oh, you meant like
What-
a dependent. You know, like
a
if things went
beneficiary.
south.
A
Yeah.
beneficiary.
Well, just because the last time I was feeling a little under the weather, I think people were outwardly rooting for me to have COVID. Those were the good days when I was on the floor and
We'll never forget the time you did the show from the floor and smelled your armpit. Guys, thank you for coming and hanging. A classic throwback edition, dare I say, of Club TopShot. Getting in the weeds, talking TopShot. We will be in Vegas. Hit us up. Come hop in the Discord if you guys haven't yet. We will let you know more about our plans, but that is coming up. I think we're like less than 2 weeks away now from being in Vegas. You guys can also get the audio version of this as well if you guys want to subscribe on iTunes. And then, of course, as usual, shout out to our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. We got the best ball drafts are flying right now. They just launched another $5 draft if you want to fire off a bunch of those.
yeah, people are embarrassing on Underdog right now because I have 7 unfilled BBM slow drafts. Get your ass in these drafts. I'm max entering. Look how dedicated I am. Look at this.
Jack, the reason I am very proud of you, but they launched the puppy and everyone goes after the $5 drafts. The puppy's already, I think it just crossed 20% in 2 days.
I get it. Because it just, I mean, you can get more drafts. At this point, though, with the max entering the BBM, tell me if I'm crazy. This is my first like best ball and big fantasy year. It feels like there's no skill involved at this point. Like once you get those entries in, it's really just like making sure your strategy is right and that you stack. Am I wrong for that? Is that bad? Should I not be saying that?
What do you mean that there's no strategy? And what do you mean in what?
Like I'm saying, at this point, I'm not really choosing, if it's Ridley or Hopkins, like I just take Ridley and then like the next one, maybe I'll take Hopkins. Like I'm not making a lot of like I feel like I'm going to have the gamut on a lot of players. Is that wrong?
The strategy is, you want to make sure you're balancing your portfolio. Right. Like if you take Ridley over Hopkins every time and you have 40% Ridley, then you're one ankle injury of your entire set of lineups going up in flames.
Yeah. But it has been fun to see like the ADPs move around. Like now I'm getting Hill at 110, Diggs in the second round. Waller, is now like almost a first round pick for some people.
It is. And it is fun too, because like in the second puppy and in BBM, there's a lot of people that have Darrell Henderson in the 11th, 12th round before Cam Akers went down. Not a great pick in those confined tournaments when you have to now take him in the 5th. However, in the new puppy, no one got him late in there. So now Darrell Henderson's a pretty decent pick if you want to take him. So yeah, I like the shifting dynamics in the different tournaments. We got the link down below. If you guys want to hop in on Underdog, you can get $25 with your first deposit. Promo code Pete. You heard it, Jack. All right, let's open this up.
Love this.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Bucket.
First contract.
Jimmy Butler. Very wealthy.
Take it.
Yeah, how many of those moments could Jimmy Butler buy with his new contract? We need Rovell to
No one-
start tweeting max deals in Top Shot moments.
I can't even hear you. Reggie Jackson. All right. A walk-off moment here. We will see you guys